viewers, we are back here on Tobago Updates. That's Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. And of course, the youthful part and the vigor is here for you. Now, we had earlier on our show, probably like 2 months ago or a month ago, we had a young lady come in and tell us about the primary plenary debate that was upcoming and how excited these primary school children were to debate and how when she visited, they had so much energy to bring. Now that energy is here this morning. Some of them said they were tired, but they were very excited to be here, very excited to tell you how they brought across their points, how they debated, how they prepared. So I'm just going to hand over to them now. I'll let them introduce themselves, tell me what school they're coming from and what part they played in the debate. So we'll start from Miss Scarborough SDA here.
Good morning. My name is Kenna Jofield. I go to Scarborough SA Primary School.
And what part did you play in the debate?
I was for Tobago becoming autonomous, and I really liked doing the debates.
And your position?
I was representing Goodwood, Mount Pleasant.
All right.
Mount St. George.
Next.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Shiva Barton and I am representing Lansome Methodist Primary School and I was the majority councillor.
You are okay.
Good morning to you good morning Tobago. I am Kaylee Andrews representing Bell Garden Anglican Primary School and I was the presiding officer.
Now, before the show started, she did mention that she was presiding officer. This was, of course, before we knew her name, and everybody was calling her presiding officer before the show started. So I think she permanently has that position. Right? So we look forward to seeing you as a presiding officer in the future as well. Next.
Good morning, everyone. I am Omar Gift from Bethesda Government Primary School, and I was a minority leader.
Right.
Good morning. My name is Dominique Holland from Pembroke Anglican School, and I was the leader of Assembly Business.
Okay, so we are looking at the future representatives, future leaders, future presiding officers here with us this morning. Now, let me tell you, with all the bravery in their eyes and the excitement, it was their first time doing the plenary debate. So, I'm going to ask each of you, how was that first time for you? How was it walking in to the assembly legislature in your dress-ups, your handy-dandies? Because I saw some pictures of you all in your nice suits and stuff, right? So how was it walking in, after preparation and stuff?
It was a dream. I feel like I was dreaming because I didn't know that day was to come. So I felt as though I had wings and I was flying into somewhere where I could be free and explain my points without stopping and with everybody understanding and supporting me on my side.
Okay.
Right. I felt important because everybody, like in the gallery, everybody was just watching on and like they were so quiet and they applaud for everyone's speech, and I felt like this is a new chapter of my life because I didn't know that I would have been picked to do something like that, but it was very exciting.
Well, to me, I felt really empowered. I felt like the house was really mine, like if that position was made for me. It made me feel more confident because I'm usually a quiet person. I'm not really loud, shy, that type of stuff. But it made me feel, how do I put it? It made me feel like a leader, like I was in charge of everybody there. And it also changed my mind about a lot of things because growing up, I wanted to be a pediatrician and now I'm thinking I might get into law or politics because I had such a good experience with it.
All right. This is that's a big development there for you. At a very early stage, a lot of us know what we want to be when we grow up, and this is you making this big U-turn to actually get involved in politics. So I look forward to, as I said, I think you will be a very good presiding officer, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Minority Leader, who is not Mr. Calvon Morris, tell us.
Well, at first when I walked into the chamber, it was very nerve-wracking.
Okay.
I really did not expect to see all those people in the visitors gallery, and it really shocked me. But as time went on and time came for me to present, the nerves went away.
Okay.
And I think I did my best.
Okay, your best is what we want. So I'm happy that you did your best. Miss Pembroke.
Well, it felt kind of majestic for me.
Oh.
Because, like, when I walk in the room, reality just hit me and I was like, I'm really doing this? And so, because I didn't even want to do it at first because I don't like to speak at all. Social anxiety, very hard. And so I was afraid. And even more afraid because before it was my turn, the person I was representing, Ms. Arisha Haggett, she came and sit behind me. So I was very, very scared. But then when I start this speech, I was like, oh my God, I felt weird in a way, but it felt good.
Okay. All right, so each of you had the opportunity to actually showcase your talent in leadership based on a lot of comments over social media, a lot of things surrounding your debates. You all did an excellent job. So a round of applause to you all. You all can clap yourselves. Very good. All right, so what I'm interested to hear about is the points that you all brought across. Now, let me mention to our viewers that the discussion that they had was on Tobago's autonomy. And, you know, I'll try to talk to them before our interview here this morning, and I think it was Chevelle who mentioned her love for certain things in Tobago, so the debate was easy for her. But then someone like Mr. Bethesda over there, right, minority leader, he mentioned that it was a bit hard because you do have your love for Tobago, but your job on that day was, your position was to be against in that debate. So how was the debate for you all? What type of points did you all bring across? What position did you hold?
So I was for Tobago becoming autonomous. So my points was about the healthcare system. It was, I wouldn't say fun, but it wasn't boring.
Right.
It was in the middle. So my speech was about the
medical facilities in Tobago?
Yes.
Yes.
So I liked some of the points that my speech had, but some of it, like my dialect I had in the speech, can I say it?
Go ahead.
Like I went pig telling mama in nose long, and mama tell her, I come.
Sorry. Go ahead, Alan.
Yes, that was in my speech. It was a phrase that used to explain that you can, like, the heritage. So the people saying how they're judging, because some of the people on this island don't know dialect because maybe they transferred from a different country or state. So when they judge, the people, some people from Tobago who were born and raised here will come and stand up behind other people saying you can't judge people's, dialect and stuff so harshly because you weren't there or anything. So yes, that was what my speech was about.
I loved your point, of course, but you know what my favorite part was? The dialects. I mean, when you go to Jamaica, when you go to other Caribbean countries, the citizens, they use their dialect. So why should we be afraid to use ours? So if you want to call your mama and your papa like that, you could go right ahead because that is our dialect here, right? So I'll take 4 points, and then I want to hear from Mr. Minority Leader over here about his points against our autonomy. So, Chevelle.
Well, my points was basically about the festivals, the heritage and the harvest, the food, because I am a foodie. I like Greek culture and how we just cook.
I love this girl before this thing. I know I like it for something. We like
so,
Go ahead.
I really passionate about food. So I was talking to my teacher when we was making this speech, and I was like, let me put in our culture and how we does make things. Like you see how they brew food, we have so many varieties of stuff and the way how we just cook. So I just included that because I felt like that was going to be an important part in my speech.
All right. So Chevelle presented on food, and I think there is no debate there. Tobagonians make better food. Okay, I'm just going to put that in right there. Right. So you see, we even have the against people smiling at that point because Tobagonians, we make the best food. All right. So Mr. Minority Leader, tell us, why are you against Tobago's autonomy?
Well, in my position, I was made to be against, but deep down in my heart,
Right.
I was really for. But some of my points that I made was, our beloved Tobago, it is such a small island. Like, it has my friends here taken into consideration that Tobago is a small country and it wouldn't be able to support self-governance by itself, and points such forth were made.
Right. Okay, so this was you see, because he has that love for Tobago and autonomy deep down in his heart, he could give us 1 point. But thank you for that point, Mr. Minority Leader. Who else was against? Is it you, Miss Pembroke? You weren't against? Miss Presiding Officer, how was it delegating the entire debate? How did you keep it in line? I know a lot of them being passionate might have brought across some points that they needed to, taper down on a little bit. So how was that for you?
Well, to me, I believe everybody was actually well behaved. I don't believe controlling the house was so hard. The only things that I may have to stop was some of the students talking time because they went over. And then when the other members came and asked to give them more speaking time, well, I think the majority had the better chance with that because I don't think anybody in the minority was able to get the extra time.
Right.
Because obviously the majority against. But it was good. I don't think anybody was out of place. Everything went smoothly. There were no problems. It was good.
And based on everything that I'm hearing here this morning, everyone, including Mr. Pembroke over there, who is smiling, everybody enjoyed the debate. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all next day again, if possible, because I know all of you are in Standard 5, so you all will be going on to high school. But if it has a high school debate, I can look forward to seeing you all in such positions, right? I see Miss Presiding Officer nodding very hard. Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can. Very confident minority leader there. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us here on Tobago Updates. It was a pleasure having you all. The bright smiles warmed my heart for this wet Wednesday. All right. So, viewers, we have another group coming to talk to you about their experience, and I know you want to hear it. So, before we go, now I'm going to give you all an assignment. It's 5 of you. Talia, you'll be by yourself, right? Unfortunately, you're going to say share the live, you're going to say share the live, and you're going to say share the live. Okay, so viewers, before I go, I just want to let you know to
Share the live.
Share the live.
Share the live.
thank you so much, debaters, for being with us here this morning. Viewers, you heard it here. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Motion for internal self-government that was moved by Iana Robinson, MP in the Parliament on January 14th of 1977, where he highlighted that Tobago was described as nothing and nowhere in a Barbados Sunday Advocate of September 26, 1976. Why? Just why has no other Caribbean island been a victim of colonial exploitation?
Autonomy. Several misconceptions have been created about its definition and what it really means. So let me start by defining what autonomy for Tobago really means. Contrary to popular belief, autonomy for us in Tobago does not mean separation from Trinidad. For the average Tobagonian, it means the ability to manage our social, cultural, and economic affairs to the extent by which we are able to create laws, policies, and national priorities based on our own values, culture, and needs.
Mr. Kino Sami wrote, Tobago Bill, an illusion of autonomy. Well said, proper chat, an illusion indeed. in my best super blue voice, get something on wave. A push for autonomy without deep thought, fair-mindedness, examination of macroeconomic policies, dependent separation from central government for funding and stemming the brain drain of our brightest minds. Madam Presiding Officer, let further add that no push for autonomy can be complete or successful until the identity and heritage of Tobago is secured for future generations.
Whereas the youth of Tobago represent the island's future and will be the primary beneficiaries or challengers of any legislative and governance changes that result from this autonomy push. And whereas autonomy has the potential to create new opportunities in governance, education, entrepreneurship, and cultural development that directly impact young people. And whereas there are concerns about whether the youth are sufficiently informed, engaged, and prepared to navigate the changes that autonomy may bring.
We should be able to protect our tourists. They are a critical source of income and opportunity for growth. Imagine concerned citizens Gordon laughing in a letter to the editor dated September the 21st, 2024, pointing out that statistically speaking, Tobago's crime rate per capita is fast rivaling that of Trinidad, and this matter of great concern as Tobago's race crime rate poses a significant threat to the island's reputation.
No right thinking, well-meaning citizen who loves and cherishes this beautiful island could ever sit here in this august chamber and reject internal self-government for Tobago. Madam Presiding Officer, that is why I proudly support the motion, and with my whole chest say yes. Madam Presiding Officer, yes, for when we, the people of this island gem, cradle our destiny fully, like a babe in the arms of the first
Madam
time.
Presiding Officer, the Tobago's economy has long been overshadowed by Trinidad, despite our abundant resources. Imagine being labeled as the second most desirable island in 2022 and the third in 2023 by Wanderlust Reader Awards, but being unable to build our infrastructure because Daddy Trinidad has the last
When young
say.
people feel seen, heard, and empowered, they thrive. But for too long, Tobagonians have felt like a forgotten footnote in national decisions. This fight for autonomy is not just about governance. It's about giving Tobago's youth a seat at the table, and that changes everything. Firstly, more resources, better education.
To become a true autonomous entity, we must first look at our ability to overcome our mental and financial dependence on Trinidad. Too many times I hear my chief secretary and her colleagues lament about how they've been wronged by Trinidad. But what point do we as Tobagonians stand strong with our pride and resilience to find a way through or around our challenges?
Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand here not just as a voice for Tobago, but as a beacon for justice, equality, and for all the youths of Tobago. The call for autonomy is not a plea for separation. It is a demand for rightful empowerment within our twin island nation. Tobago's economic potential has stifled for decades under centralized control.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're bringing us here live in Port Moresby, Tobago. My name is Dwayne, and this morning I am in the midst of five distinguished future leaders of Tobago. Here to discuss or to continue the discussion surrounding the primary plenary debate surrounding the Tobago autonomy issue. This morning I'm joined with the Honorable Chief Secretary, Ms. Zema Chapman. Please smile and wave.
Good morning, everyone of this astounding island of Tobago. My name is Zama Chapman, and I am your Chief Secretary for the second annual Primary Plenary City. Also a member for Palatavere Lands for Me Space Eye. Well, hi.
You know, definitely the Chief Secretary there. And we are joined with also Councillor on the majority side, Miss Kiana Seret.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kiana Surratt, and I am the majority councillor.
All right. And we are also joined with Mr. Kaishon Grant, the sole male for this side. He's a representative for Bagatelle, Bacalet. My apologies.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kaishon Grant. I attend Goering Government Primary School, and I am assemblyman for Bagatelle Bagalet.
Yes. Right, and we also have Miss Sydney Paul, member for Plymouth Blackrock.
Sydney Paul.
Paul, my humblest apologies. All right, go ahead.
My name is Sydney Paul, and I am really appreciated to be here. I am from Westside Prep, and I want just to say that Westside is the best side.
She represented a whole Westside. She should go up for Tobago West. And then last but certainly not least, we have Miss Ruth George, member for Buku Mount Pleasant.
Good morning. My name is Ruth George. My school is Banacol Government Primary School, and I was the member for Buku Mount Pleasant.
All right. Guys, you are here because you participated in a debate. Let me just take it from Miss Kiana, who is on the further side of from me. What was the debate like? How did it feel to represent your school?
It felt very exciting.
All right.
And I was not really nervous, but it felt like a new chapter of my life.
Right, all right. Do you see yourself getting into politics?
Not really.
All right, that's good, but it certainly was a learning experience for you.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Miss George?
I felt very privileged to have this opportunity to voice my concern on this topic. And I was very scared first. Most people just think when you're done, say it's done. But I was real scared at the end because I was thinking like, how could I do better? How could I stress on this one?
So you was doing your own postmortem of yourself so that you seeing what areas you could have improved in your debate. Were you for or against the Tobago autonomy issue?
Against.
All right, and we're going to get some more into that later. Mr. Kaishon Grant, what was it like, representing your school at such a young age in the Tobago's parliament?
Well, it was a very delightful experience. I got to know more about autonomy and what it's about.
Right.
And I just hope that I can do it again sometime.
Of course. When it's nice, you do it twice, right? But what do you see yourself getting into politics in the future?
Well, even though it was a nice experience, I don't think politics is for me.
Right, all right.
So, yeah.
I love the honesty coming from these young people, but the experience was certainly a good one, I hope. Yes? Right. So, Miss Sydney, tell us, what did it feel like for you representing at such a young age in the Tobago's parliament?
It was really exciting and very fun. I was a little bit nervous, but it was truly fun and exciting.
All right, but I think you might go up for the Tobago West side.
Maybe not. I don't know.
You're not sure? At this point, you're enjoying your youthfulness.
Yes.
All right, I understand. And the Honorable Chief Secretary, Ms. Zama, is it Zima or Zama? Zama. She corrected me on the pronunciation of her name, as she should. Right? What did it feel like, being the Chief Secretary, because the Chief Secretary has been the one in the public space at the forefront of this topical issue of the Tobago autonomy? How did it feel like being that representative and, being a part of this debate?
Okay, so I felt privileged because not many young children like me can have an opportunity like this to go out on a public forefront and present a speech, because most young children now, they only want to stay on tablet and phone and watch TikTok and YouTube all day. But this opportunity raised awareness around young Tobagonians like me and everybody here, and it's kind of helped us to grow more into who we are and develop a love for politics. Well, I developed a love for politics and a love for public speaking. And many young children don't know about autonomy. I to be honest, I didn't know what was autonomy. I did not know. I had no clue what was it. But when I stepped into the chamber, I felt that love. I felt that passion for politics. And Mr. Ajay Allen and Miss Talia O'Neill and Miss Sophia, they helped us grow into who we are today, help us form and mold our speech into presentable, yes.
Yeah.
So, and I think I might get into politics when I'm older, becoming one of the first female chief secretaries. That's on my bucket list. Yes.
Love it.
So,
love
yes.
I'm gonna shake your hand.
Yes.
I love it. So guys, being in the chamber, right? Miss Chapman just highlighted something I'm sure you all could relate to, being that we didn't know what autonomy was, right? You all didn't know what autonomy was. And I'm sure autonomy before that experience was a boring topic, and so tell me, what part for you, I want to take it from you and go down the road because you highlighted it very well. What was the most, standouting feature of the autonomy issue in your debate? Were you for or against, Miss Sydney?
I was against.
You was against. What were some of your highlights? Some of your points, at least one of your points, comment as to why you think that Tobago should not be granted autonomy.
Well, I didn't say shouldn't, but I'm saying that we're not ready for it yet.
Okay.
Because every day that the boat bringing down supplies that we need to survive on this island.
Right.
So if there's no boats, where we're gonna get the supplies from? Because we can't start straight over from scratch.
I understand.
So I'm saying that we need to try to set up things before we start doing that stuff.
All right.
So you would say I wanted a ton bit, but I was just saying that we're not ready for it.
And that's a very good argument to posit. Readiness. We have to question our readiness before we make strides into achieving our autonomy. But is it your personal view coming from the debate that we are not ready, or do you think that the time is now?
I don't think that we're ready for it yet, because we have more situations to deal with, such as crime and getting food supplies and our communication.
Okay, all right. That's definitely something that the government, both on the opposite and the majority side, should consider. Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaishon. Usually the soldier here, the soul meal here this morning, right? Soldier, tell me, from you were for or against?
For.
Right. What are some of your points coming from, the autonomy argument? What are some of your points? At least one.
So, one of my points is that we can invest in Tobago contractors, Tobago talent, Tobago skills, and Tobago businesses.
All right. So you think that doing so would make Tobago, put Tobago in a better place, yes? Because as you may or may not know, but all of these things, help Tobago make a lot more revenue, right? And a lot more revenue means that a better standard of living for all of us. Yeah? And hence the reason why the Tobago autonomy may fit very well into your argument, being for Tobago autonomy, and that's really good. That's really good. But what are some of the the things about autonomy that you didn't know?
Well, I didn't know that autonomy is about self-governance and about having independence.
Okay, all right.
So that's all I done.
All right, thank you so much. All right, take it away, ma'am.
Well, one of my points was all Tobago as all heritage or history can be lost by any continued self-government of Tobago by Trinidad owing to its supremacists.
Right.
Saying that yes, we want more identity, yes, we want more self-governance, but we cannot go forward with this plan without being like readily prepared.
All right. So were you for or you're against?
Against.
Okay. So you're speaking about identity, and identity is important in terms of nationalism and all these kind of things, and people must know who Tobago is. And just like your colleague here, readiness is important. What are some of the things that coming from this debate that you didn't know that you were really shocked by?
I didn't know that autonomy meant like not fully self-government, not fully like separation.
Okay.
It just meant like getting more authority for yourself. So that was one of the things that stand out.
Yeah, and that's a simple way to put it. That's a very simple way to put it. Thank you so much. Miss Kiana. All right, Miss Sarah, go ahead. So my question to you is, you are for autonomy. What were some of your highlights, your strong points as to why Tobago needed this autonomy thing?
I think that Tobago needs to be more secure. And
so it's because of the high rising crime, and I'm certain that when you were going through your preparation, they spoke about the Tobago House of Assembly Act and some of the powers that we have versus the powers that we don't have. And one of those things that you relate to security is national security. We cannot command the police force here. We can't give them or instruct them to have a tailor-made approach for Tobago into ensuring that it is secure from crime and all other elements like drugs and so on coming into the island. So you're right, definitely. The autonomy issue must be focused on security, island security, because if you're not secure, then you can't go to school, right? You them got a hire car for you everywhere that you go because the elements of crime might be against you. So that definitely is a very, very, very strong point. My last question to you is, what was one thing about the Tobago autonomy, same question that I asked your colleagues, that stood out to you that you were real surprised about?
that
Well, let me ask you a different question, right? Do you think that the autonomy discussion or the debate was a boring debate? And if not, why do you think that it's an important topic?
so that children our age could learn more about autonomy.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, guys. Listen, I want to congratulate you guys, and I just want to give you guys one opportunity to say thank you to one person who helped you in your preparation, right? And the last thing we're going to do together is go for a break, and you're going to share the live, right? So say thank you one by one. Honorable Chief Secretary, quickly.
Thank you, members of the Tobago Assembly Legislature, for molding us into being who we are today and presenting our speeches. I just want to say a special thank you to Mr. Ajay Allen and Mrs. Dalia O'Neill.
All right. Say thank you to somebody.
I would like to say thank you to all of the House Assembly, but to three specific people actually. Thank you to Ajay Allen to help me with my speech. Thank you to Mommy who is helping me practice my speech at home.
Of course, yeah.
And then last but not least, let us thank all the all the members of assembly who let us use the chamber.
All right, that's really good. That's right. Mr. Grant.
So I want to thank God first and foremost. I want to thank my mother.
Yes, ma'am.
For helping me develop my speech. And especially I want to thank Mr. Ajay, Mrs. O'Neill, and Mrs. I forget the other name, but
Sophia.
Miss Sophia.
All right.
I want to thank my teacher for pushing me to step over my limits, and I want to thank the members of the Assembly Chamber for shaping us into the people we are today and for helping us prepare our speech.
All right.
I want to thank my teacher and my mother and the members of the Assembly Legislature.
All right. So guys, thank you very much for being here. We're going to go for a short break, guys. This is the future of Tobago. Thank you so much for gracing me with your presence and, continue in your strides. And for those of you who would have sat common entrance, all the best to you. I want to see you again next year and the year after in all parliaments, even in the national parliament, positing your debates for Tobago. Yes? And all the best. We're going to go for a quick break. This brings us to the end of this part of the segment. And remember to share the light.
Share the light.
We'll be right back.